Governor Steve Bullock's budget director says a deal to fix the state's budget problems could materialize in the coming days, and a special session could follow soon after. Lee Newspapers reports the governor's office has been working with legislative leaders to come up with the framework of a deal that could plug the $227 million hole in the budget. Budget Director Dan Villa said a third of the money to fill the gap would come from about $75 million in temporary tax increases and revenue enhancements. Another third would come from adjustments such as fund transfers and making cuts to some agency budgets the governor can't reduce unilaterally. The final third would come from the cuts the governor would make to state agencies under a law that allows him to reduce agency spending by up to 10%. Well, let's talk about one of those agencies. The Missoula City County Health Department Director Ellen Leahy is in back-to-back meetings discussing the impacts of immediate and possible budget cuts from the state. Leahy outlined the cuts in services that her department has and potentially might have to absorb.
We have a very important program that is on the chopping block, but we received word last week that actually the funds are being cut right now. That is our foster child health program. We work with Child and Family Services, Providence St. Patrick Hospital on the clinical front, and then here with our public health nurses.
Leahy said the funding of public health nurses at over $250,000 is also threatened, and with a $65,000 cut from the foster child care program, her department is facing very hard times.
So this health department's looking at, a worst-case scenario, $315,000, which probably doesn't sound like a lot, especially in view of the deficit, but it's a huge chunk of the piece that we need to serve people in our community.
Leahy said there's no way her department could absorb a loss of that magnitude, so she's lobbying hard with the governor and the legislature to try to keep that funding. 2 men were arrested on Halloween morning after Missoula police got a call from department store employees near the 3500 block of Mullen Road. Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh said the incident occurred when a store employee questioned a man with a suspicious cart full of unbagged items.
He approached the male, who was now starting to load the items into a car that was parked in the parking lot, and asked him to produce a receipt for the items to prove that he had in fact paid for them. The male said that he would provide a receipt, however he continued to load the car with items from the cart. And at one point, the male jumped in the car, leaving some items still in the cart.
The store employee attempted to prevent the theft, and it was at this point the theft turned into robbery.
The employee attempted to put shopping carts behind the vehicle to block it in. However, the vehicle was able to back out, driven by a second male, who then, according to the complainant, appeared to purposely drive at him as he left the parking lot, forcing the employee to jump out of the way to avoid being hit.
33-year-old David Morse is facing a charge of robbery and is thought to have been the driver of the vehicle based on photos taken by the store employee. Christopher Leto is charged with misdemeanor theft. He's been released. He was later apprehended the same day by Missoula Sheriff's deputies for aggravated DUI. The Montana Supreme Court has struck down a victims' rights law approved by voters last year as unconstitutional. Justices said in a Wednesday split opinion that the law, dubbed Marsy's Law, made multiple changes to the Montana Constitution that should have been considered separately. Missoula City Attorney Jim Nugent said no one involved with the initiative even contacted him about the effects of Marsy's Law on the court system.
No one even discussed or contacted any municipal official, as far as I can tell, and I'm quite active among the municipal attorneys in Montana, and it totally blindsided us and ambushed us, and it also is one of those things where government employees are not allowed to take positions on ballot issues. It's under the Code of Ethics and Montana Standards of Conduct in the state law.
It had been put on hold by the court in June following a lawsuit from the Montana Association of Counties, the American Civil Liberties Union, and others. Dissenting justices Jim Rice and Beth Baker said the law was not ready for review because it hadn't been implemented and its effects were unknown. Lines are long at local tire stores as drivers are rushing to get their snow tires put on. Owner of Romer's Tire Center, John Romer, said he believes memories of last winter have prompted the overwhelming demand.
This is one of the most unusual snow tire changeover seasons that I have seen in my over 40 years of experience. But it started in late September. We were actually installing snow tires on the last Friday. I think we put 8 sets on the last Friday of September, for gosh sake. I think that the memory of last winter is pretty
All right. Skip Harden, assistant manager at the Brook Street Tire-Rama, said the hours and the lines are long for winter tire changeovers.
We open up at 7:30. We usually come in early and get things ready by 6:30 or 7. And the last couple nights, Monday night was 9:30. Last night was 8 o'clock. So we just make sure everything's done so we don't have anything overlapping the next day.
Both dealers said the average cost of a winter tire changeover is just over $70 for all 4 tires. And at the end of the year, the Missoula County Commissioners will need to fill 29 vacant board, council, and committee terms. Administrative Assistant Sarah Bell explains how interested parties can apply.
They can go to MissoulaCounty.us, and there is a button on there to click to volunteer. And if they click on that, then it will give them an application with all the different boards that currently have vacancies at the end of the year. And they can select which one they'd like to apply to and submit an application, and then we will be in touch for an interview.
According to Bell, current members who are eligible for reappointment must reapply and interview with the Missoula Board of County Commissioners if they want to continue to serve. The deadline for applications is November 30th by 5 p.m. All the board positions are on a volunteer basis, and no form of payment is provided. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station. A chance of rain and snow today with our high temperatures topping out in the upper 30s and low 40s. Winds will be breezy at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Snow accumulations will stay under half an inch. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.